That can in your pantry right now. It might contain a euthanasia drug, the same chemical vets use to put animals to sleep, found in cans labeled premium beef, or a Vitam, in dose so wrong your cat's kidneys fail before you notice. Anything's wrong. These aren't sketchy discount brands. These are names you trust, names your vet recommended, names in millions of homes while owners have no idea what's inside. In the next 15 minutes, I'm exposing exactly which 10 wet cat food brands are putting your cat at risk and what you should actually be feeding instead. 10 IMS has been feeding American cats since the 1980s. Generations of owners trusted those familiar bags and cans. Veterinarians recommended them. The brand built a reputation on science-backed nutrition at reasonable prices. Then 2007 happened, and 2010, and 2011, and 2013. IMS holds one of the worst recall records in the pet food industry. During the massive 2007 melamine crisis, IMS had more products recalled than almost any other brand. 43 different items pulled from shelves after cats and dogs started dying from kidney failure. The contamination came from Chinese suppliers who had fraudulently added industrial chemicals to wheat gluten. Over 100 pets died, hundreds more suffered kidney failure, but IMS wasn't done. In 2010, they recalled canned cat food for insufficient thiamine, the Vitam, in deficiency that causes seizures, neck paralysis, and death. That same year, Salmonella contamination hit their veterinary formulas. In 2011, aflatoxin, a cancer-causing mold toxin, was found in their products. In 2013, more Salmonella. Open a can of IMS and it looks like normal cat food. Smells fine, your cat eats it happily. But a brand with this many failures across this many years isn't having bad luck. It's having bad systems. When the same company keeps failing different safety tests for different contaminants, the problem isn't one supplier or one batch. It's institutional. For senior cats with weakened immune systems, repeated exposure to even low-level contamination creates cumulative damage. For kittens during critical development, thiamine deficiency causes permanent neurological harm. For owners who trusted a legacy brand, IMS proved that history doesn't guarantee safety. Legacy brand, legacy failures. But at least IM got caught in issued recalls. The next brand has thousands of complaints and refuses to act. 9. Friskies. Walk into any grocery store and Frisk dominates the cat food aisle. Those familiar cans have fed generations of cats. Pina's marketing machine has made Friskies synonymous with affordable cat nutrition. Millions of owners grab it without a second thought. Then the complaints started piling up and piling and piling. Online, thousands of cat owners report the same symptoms. Violent vomiting, bloody diarrhea, cats who loved Friskies for years suddenly refusing to eat, cats dying within days of opening a new case. The complaints center on specific batch numbers 1,157, 11,159, 1,161 from certain manufacturing facilities. Petitions with thousands of signatures demand Pina recall the affected products. Pina's response, there is no problem. The food is safe, no recall necessary. Here's what makes Friskies uniquely troubling. When thousands of owners report identical symptoms linked to specific batch codes, something is wrong. When cats who ate the same food for a decade suddenly get sick from new batches, something changed. When owners report their cats dying and Pina insists everything is fine, trust collapses entirely. Open a case of Friskies and check the batch number. Smell the food. Owners report an unusual odor in affected batches. Watch your cat's reaction. If they refuse food they previously loved, pay attention. Cats know when something is wrong before lab tests confirm it. For families on tight budgets who chose Friskies because it's affordable, the lack of corporate response is devastating. You can't afford premium brands. You trusted the biggest name in cat food, And when your cat gets sick, the company tells you nothing is wrong. One owner reported her cat dying after 20 years of eating Friskies. The only change was a new batch from the same product line she'd always bought. Thousands of complaints, 0 recalls. When a company is too big to admit problems, every purchase becomes a gamble. But what happens when premium becomes the problem? Drop a comment right now with the brand you're currently feeding. I'll tell you if it made this list. 8. Blue Buffalo. You pay premium because you want safety. You grab that Blue Buffalo can, expecting cleaner ingredients, higher standards, fewer surprises. The packaging screams quality. The price confirms it. This is supposed to be the responsible choice. Then the lab results came back wrong. In 2010, Blue Buffalo recalled products after excessive vitamin D levels were discovered. Not slightly high, dangerously high. The kind that causes vomiting, lethargy, loss of appetite. The kind that quietly destroys kidneys while your cat looks fine on the outside. Here's what makes vitamin D poisoning terrifying. The can looks normal, smells normal. Your cat eats it happily. There's no warning sign until blood work shows elevated calcium, elevated phosphorus, and kidney damage that might already be irreversible. For senior cats or cats with existing kidney issues, a single week of eating the wrong batch can mean hospitalization. Open a can of Blue Buffalo and it looks like premium food. Chunks and gravy, rich color, meaty smell. Nothing tells you the vitamin and premix was miscalculated. Nothing warns you that premium doesn't mean perfect. The error is invisible, a number on a lab report that changes everything. For kittens with developing systems, vitamin D toxicity disrupts bone growth during the most critical months. For cats on kidney medication, a sudden vitamin surge can undo months of careful management overnight. One owner told me her senior cat went from stable kidney values to emergency care within 10 days of eating a recalled batch. She'd chosen Blue Buffalo because her vet said it was reliable. Premium label lab disaster, but at least Blue Buffalo was an isolated incident. The next brand turned science into a liability. 7. Hill's Science Diet. You buy Hill's because your vet said to. The word science literally in the name, clinical packaging, research citations, formulas designed for specific health conditions. This isn't grocery store cat food. This is medical nutrition, the kind you trust because professionals trusted. Then the vitamin D disaster proved science doesn't prevent catastrophic failure. Hill's faced multiple recalls tied to elevated vitamin D in canned foods. Not slightly elevated, dangerously elevated levels causing hypercalcemia, kidney damage, bone weakening. The FDA issued public warnings, dozens of lot numbers affected. A brand built on precision delivered doses that could kill. Here's why this is especially cruel in a prescription brand. Owners feeding Hill's often have cats with existing conditions. Kidney disease, diabetes, thyroid problems. These cats are already fragile. Their owners are already vigilant. They chose Hill's specifically because their vet said it was safe. Then a premix error sent toxic doses into cans that looked exactly like safe ones. Open a can of Hill's prescription food and everything looks clinical. Smells like the same formula you fed for months, but inside vitamin D might be orders of magnitude higher than safe limits. Your cat eats, seems fine. A week later, vomiting starts. Lethargy. By the time blood work reveals the calcium spike, kidney damage may be permanent. One owner's cat went from stage 2 to stage 4, kidney disease, within 3 weeks of eating a recalled batch. Her vet had recommended the food, the science failed. Clinical label toxic reality. 6. Royal Canin. Royal Canin sells medical precision, veterinary diets formulated for specific conditions. Kidney disease, thyroid problems, urinary issues. These aren't foods you grab casually, they're prescribed, your vet writes it down, your cat's health depends on the exact nutrient profile inside. Then bags started containing the wrong formula entirely. In 2023, Royal Canin recalled veterinary feline renal support because some bags contained mislabeled product. Wrong formula inside right packaging. For a healthy cat, eating different formula is annoying. For a cat on strict renal management, eating the wrong nutrient profile can be dangerous. Here's why mislabeling a prescription diet is medical-grade negligence. Cats on kidney diets require precise phosphorus, sodium, and protein levels. Their medications are calibrated to work with specific nutrient intakes. When you unknowingly feed the wrong formula, you're changing the chemical environment your cat's treatment depends on. Phosphorus that should be restricted floods the system, sodium levels shift, blood pressure changes. Pick up a Royal Canin prescription bag and everything looks correct. Same SKU, same label, same veterinary branding. You fill the bowl believing you're following doctor's orders, and the nutrients entering their system are completely different from what their treatment requires. One owner realized something was wrong when her cat's kidney values suddenly worsened after months of stability. She'd changed nothing. Same schedule, same medications. The bag she'd bought contained a formula that wasn't what the label said. Prescription precision mislabeled reality. Prescription food with toxic doses. Hit subscribe so you never miss a warning about the brand's cutting corners. 5. Wellness. The holistic pet food movement made wellness a household name. Clean ingredients, no artificial preservatives. Premium positioning for owners who wanted better than grocery store options. The brand attracted health-conscious cat owners willing to pay more for peace of mind. Then the recalls revealed that holistic doesn't mean safe. Wellness has been recalled multiple times. In 2011, Thiamine deficiency in canned cat food, the vitamin in shortage that causes seizures, paralysis, and death. In 2012, moisture problems leading to mold contamination. In 2017, metal fragments found in canned food produced at their manufacturing facility. Here's what makes wellness failures particularly disappointing. Owners chose this brand specifically to avoid the problems of cheaper foods. They researched, they paid more, they trusted the holistic marketing, and they got thiamine deficiency, mold, and metal shards. The same problems plaguing budget brands. Open a can of wellness and it looks premium. Smooth paint texture, real meat smell, the kind of food that makes you feel good about what you're feeding. But thiamine deficiency is invisible, mold can hide, metal fragments might not be obvious until your cat bites down on something wrong. For cats with sensitive digestive systems who were switched to wellness specifically for gentler nutrition, contamination hits harder. For senior cats whose owners invested in premium food, hoping to extend their lives, each recall represents betrayed trust. One owner fed wellness for years before her cat developed mysterious neurological symptoms, wobbly walking, neck curving toward the floor, classic thiamine deficiency signs. By the time she connected it to the food, weeks of damage had accumulated. Holistic label, industrial failures, 4, special kitty. Walmart store brand promises budget, friendly nutrition. For families stretching every dollar, for shelters feeding dozens of cats, for anyone who can't afford premium prices, Special Kitty looks like a practical choice. The packaging suggests it's just as good as name brands at a fraction of the cost. Then the death started. Special Kitty has been recalled repeatedly. In 2007, melamine contamination, the same industrial chemical crisis that killed hundreds of pets nationwide. In 2008, salmonella. In 2017, thiamine deficiency. In 2019, a mysterious recall citing only health concerns potentially associated with ingredients without specifying what those ingredients were. The symptoms listed: nausea, seizures, difficulty walking, and death. Here's what makes that 2019 recall terrifying. When a company won't tell you what's wrong with their food, they're either hiding something awful or they genuinely don't know. Neither option is acceptable. The recall notice listed symptoms ranging from drooling to death, and offered no explanation for what caused them. Open a can of Special Kitty and you're gambling. The price is low for a reason. The ingredient sourcing is opaque. The manufacturing has failed repeatedly. When the same budget brand keeps getting recalled for different problems, the entire operation is suspect. For families who genuinely can't afford anything else, this reality is crushing. You're trying to feed your cat. You're working with limited money, and the only brand you can afford keeps poisoning animals. One owner reported multiple cats dying within days of switching to Special Kitty, symptoms matching exactly what the 2019 recall described. Budget brand, budget safety standards. Drop a comment if you've ever had a cat get sick from food on this list. 3. 9 Lives. Morris the cat made 9 Lives famous. Those commercials promised your cat would love every bite. The brand has been feeding American cats since 1959. Generations of owners trust that familiar packaging. Then the Thiamine recalls happened again and again. 9 Lives has been recalled multiple times for insufficient thiamine, the B vitamin that cats absolutely require to survive. In 2017, multiple varieties were pulled. In 2018, more recalls. The same problem repeated. Thiamine deficiency causes gastrointestinal distress. First, vomiting, appetite loss, weight loss, then neurological symptoms appear. Neck paralysis, inability to walk, circling, falling, seizures, death. Here's what makes repeated thiamine failures unforgivable. This isn't a mysterious contamination from an unknown source. This is a vitamin that's supposed to be added during manufacturing. When a company keeps failing to add adequate thiamine, they are failing at the most basic level of pet food production. It's like a bread company repeatedly forgetting to add flour. Open a can of 9 Lives and it looks like cat food, smells like cat food, your cat eats it like cat food. But if the thiamine levels are wrong, every meal is slowly starving their nervous system. By the time symptoms appear, weeks of damage have accumulated. The neck paralysis, called ventriflexion, is a classic sign. But by that point, recovery requires immediate veterinary intervention. For senior cats whose systems are less resilient, thiamine deficiency progresses faster. For kittens who need proper nutrition for brain development, the damage can be permanent. For budget-conscious owners who thought a legacy brand was safe, 9 Lives proved that history means nothing when quality control fails. One owner's cat developed seizures after weeks on 9 Lives. The vet immediately asked what food she was feeding. Classic thiamine deficiency, the vet said entirely preventable legacy brand repeated failures. 2. Pina Beyond Friskies. Pina is everywhere. Beyond Friskies, they make Fancy Feast, Prop Plan, and dozens of other formulas. The company has been making pet food for over a century. Their scale means they feed more cats than almost any other manufacturer. That scale is a convenience and a danger. Pina's recall history includes salmonella contamination and foreign material findings across multiple product lines. When you produce billions of servings yearly, even a tiny percentage of contaminated product means millions of affected meals. The odds of your cat eating a bad batch increase with every can you buy. Here's the math that should scare you. Pina's market share means a single contamination event exposes more cats than any boutique brand recall ever could. One ingredient slip from one supplier ripples across dozens of products. By the time quality control catches it, millions of cans have shipped. Your cat might be eating recalled food before the announcement even goes public. Open any Purina product and it looks like the same food your cat has eaten for years. But salmonella doesn't change appearance. Foreign material, plastic, metal might not be visible until your cat chokes on it. The sheer volume of production means something always slips through. For senior cats who have eaten Pina their entire lives, loyalty doesn't equal safety. For at households buying bulk, a single contaminated case exposes every animal. One shelter director stopped accepting peanut donations after multiple cats got sick from the same case. The recall came 2 weeks later. Massive scale, massive risk. Subscribe now so you never miss a recall that could save your cat's life. One Avengers, every brand on this list failed in some way. Vitamin errors, contamination, thymine deficiency. But Avengers didn't just fail at manufacturing. They put euthanasia drugs in food labeled as premium beef. In 2017, Avengers recalled products after testing found pentobarbital, the drug veterinarians used to put animals to sleep. One dog died after eating their hunk of beef product. 5 others got severely ill. Further testing found pentobarbital in multiple lots across multiple products. The FDA investigation also discovered horse DNA in food labeled as beef. Here's what makes this the worst entry on this list. Pentobarbital in pet food means euthanized animals entered the food supply. Animals that were put to sleep with this drug, possibly horses, possibly other animals, ended up ground into cans labeled as premium beef for your cat. Avengers blamed a supplier. The FDA inspected that supplier and found systems in place to prevent euthanized animals from entering the food chain. Meanwhile, FDA inspectors found conditions at Avengers' own facility: peeling paint, mold, lack of refrigeration, and open sewer near food storage. The company had marketed itself as producing human-grade food with USDA-inspected ingredients. Open a can of Avengers if you still have any and you have no idea what's actually inside. The label says beef. Testing found horse. The label says premium. The contents included a lethal drug. For 82 years, Avengers operated without a recall. Then one dog died and the entire Operation Safety Theater collapsed. The symptoms of pentobarbital poisoning mirror what you'd expect from a euthanasia drug: drowsiness, dizziness, loss of balance, inability to stand. In severe cases, coma and death. The owner whose dog died had been feeding what she thought was the best food on the market, human grade. USDA inspected. She ended up essentially euthanizing her own pet with the food she bought to keep him healthy. For owners who paid premium prices believing they were buying the safest option, this betrayal is absolute. The expensive can, the human-grade marketing, the euthanasia drug inside. Avengers prove that price and marketing mean nothing when a company's entire supply chain is compromised. Premium promises lethal reality. Go check your pantry right now. If you see IMS, Friskies, Blue Buffalo, Hills, Royal Canin, Wellness, Special Kitty, 9 Lives, Pina, or Evangel, don't finish the can. Don't use up the bag. Your cat's health isn't worth a few dollars left in that container. 10 brands, 10 betrayals. But 2 brands prove clean cat food still exists. Safe pick number 2, Koha, limited ingredient payday. After everything we just exposed, you need a brand that keeps things simple, and Koha does exactly that. Single protein recipes, 1 meat source per can, so you know exactly what your cat is eating. If your cat has allergies, sensitivities, or unexplained digestive issues, limited ingredients mean limited variables. You can actually identify what works instead of guessing. No gum thickeners, no xanthan, guar, or low-cost bean gum irritating sensitive systems. No artificial preservatives, no sodium-loaded flavor enhancers stressing aging kidneys. Just meat, broth, and nutrients. The kind of simple your great Grandmother would recognize. Open a can and notice the difference. Smooth paint without artificial gel consistency. Real meat smell, not synthetic masking. High moisture content, typically 78 to 82%, meaning hydration with every meal. For senior cats who don't drink enough, for cats with kidney strain, that moisture is medicine hiding in food. Koha manufactures in U.S. and Canadian facilities with batch testing for bacterial contamination and heavy metals. Nutrient verification preventing the vitamin in disasters we saw with Hills and Blue Buffalo. Expect $2.50. $50 to $3.50 per 5 ounces can, more than grocery brands, worth every penny compared to vet bills from contaminated food. Safe pick number 1. Tikkiat After Dark. If Koha is clean simplicity, Tikkiat After Dark is clean abundance. Whole animal ingredients you can identify when opening the can. Not meat byproducts, actual chicken hearts, gizzards, livers, parts containing natural taurine without synthetic supplementation. Around 80% moisture in natural broth. For senior cats who have stopped drinking enough, for cats with kidney concerns, this hydration makes measurable difference. Kidneys flush waste easier, digestion moves smoother, urinary issues become less likely. No heavy thickeners, no carrageenan, no excessive gums. The whole ingredient approach doesn't require chemical assistance. Open a can and actual meat smell hits, not flavor compounds. Shredded texture, not paste. Visible organ meats. The natural aroma triggers appetites that processed pâtés can't match. For picky seniors who have lost interest in eating, this brings them back. For diabetic cats, carbohydrate content is essentially zero. No rice, potato, corn hiding under grain-free labels. Blood sugar stays stable. For overweight cats, protein to fat ratio supports lean muscle without empty calories. Tikkiat After Dark runs $2 to $3 per 8-ounce can. Premium pricing for actual food, not filler extended with gums and water. 10 brands, 10 failures, euthanasia drugs and premium beef. Vitamin disasters destroying kidneys. Thiamine deficiency causing seizures. Thousands of complaints with 0 recalls. Mislabeled prescriptions sabotaging treatment. Factory conditions with mold and open sewers. The truth is simple. Not every can is created equal. Some look trustworthy, smell fine, and carry your cat's favorite flavors, while hiding contamination that won't become obvious until symptoms appear. But now you know what to avoid, and you know what deserves to go in the bowl. Koha Tikkiat After Dark. Clean ingredients, real testing, food you can trust. Your cat depends on you to fill that bowl with something safe. What's the worst cat food disaster you've experienced? Finding something wrong in the food, a recall that came too late? A cat who got sick from a brand you trusted? Drop your story below. Let's see how many of us have been fooled. Want truth about other secretly dangerous pet products? Click the video on the left. Subscribe so you never trust a label without knowing what's inside. More expose coming. Thanks for watching. Check those pantry shelves and keep rising.